Welcome back to Saving the Republic with Joe Staten, presented by Grab Your Gear Network, where we speak to people who get up and work hard every single day. Trades workers, merit shop workers. This channel, this show, and this network is for you. Here on STR, we bring you guys news that you probably have not heard about, but you should hear about 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday evenings. Pretty short, 10 or 15-minute shows, but we talk about what matters most and why you need to be involved and vote. Okay, that's, again, the topic of the show. The theme of the show right now, 29 days to the election, the most consequential election in American history. You need to go and vote. Register to vote if you're not already. I believe today was the deadline, actually, in many states. So make sure you guys are all set up and ready to vote. With that being said, we have some news to talk about, per usual. Okay, we live in the world of social media. We live in the world of, there's always a news story going on. There's always something in the world happening. But with 29 days to go, the candidates are leaving their mark. And Kamala Harris, the anointed nominee, finally did a couple interviews. But I just wanted to talk about the optics of this, right? So Kamala's first extended sit-down interview is on a podcast called Call Her Daddy, a women's, basically sexual podcast. Okay? She's doing this in the midst of 2 hurricanes. So the vice president is not actively working hard in the relief effort. She's not getting FEMA to do their job. She's on a women's sexual health podcast. That's what we have in Kamala Harris. Okay? I don't really know what to say about that. All right? I don't really know what comment to say. I think it speaks for itself. But we have some clips and we have some tweets to pull up here. So the first thing we're going to take a look at here from Colin Rugg, very quality follow here on Twitter, says, new, Kamala Harris's appearance on Call Her Daddy turns into massive flop as the YouTube segment barely reached 100,000 views in the first 16 hours. Wow. At the time of the post, the segment on YouTube has 4.9 thousand likes and 11,000 dislikes. Oh my goodness gracious. So a 2-to-1 dislike to like ratio. The comments were mostly negative. Not one good comment. This is nuts. She really tried to Aiden Ross like Trump and got this. How long before these comments get disabled? And it's true. Okay? Very poor performing podcasts. There were a couple clips like this one here that left some people pretty frustrated. Check this out.
Daddy gang, to put it in our TikTok terms. I have seen girls on the street walk up to men and be like, do you know where a tampon goes? Do you know how many tampons we use? Do you even know do you know what a X or Y or Z is of a part of our, and they don't know the answer.
I was the first vice president or president to ever in office go to a reproductive health care clinic, ever.
Daddy gang, to put.
And this is what we're talking about when it comes to the most important part of the election season is we're on a podcast. The first interview we do as vice president, as nominee for president. It's just so disrespectful, man. It's so disrespectful to the hurricane victims, to you, the American people. It's disrespectful. Okay. And I would even say she holds some contempt for approaching things this way. Another comment on this podcast from Clay Travis, Kamala Harris and the Call Her Daddy chick attempt to come up with any governmental law that controls a man's body. Both say there is not one, then laugh. The correct answer is yes, the draft. Yeah.
Pose this question more to you and the daddy gang, but one of the biggest conversations in this year's election revolves around a woman's body.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I want to take a moment and can we try to think of any law that gives the government the power to make a decision.
I know what you're going to ask.
About a man's body.
No,
we don't have laws against murder. We don't have laws against violence. We don't have laws against theft. We don't have laws for wearing seatbelts. We don't have laws for presenting an ID when we go to buy a firearm. Literally every law in the history of mankind, in the history of the United States, that restrains a physical activity could be classified as a law that controls a man's body. Okay? We all have laws. We all have rules. These rules, these laws restrain us. Same thing as abortion. All right? Abortion laws, and that's what these people don't understand, is that abortion laws are not restricting healthcare. You know, healthcare is the euphemism that's been labeled to incorrectly define abortion. But abortion is obviously, as we know, it's the robbing of another life, of a human being, scientifically. And prevention of that is not anything different than preventing, somebody from shooting somebody or robbing somebody or whatever. Of course, we have many laws that define and control men. And as Clay Travis points out, the draft is an obvious example. All right. So disrespectful, but even better than this, Kamala Harris went on 60 Minutes, and check out what she had to say here.
Order for years. And so I know this is not a problem that started with your administration.
Correct.
But there was an historic flood of undocumented immigrants coming across the border the first 3 years of your administration. As a matter of fact, arrivals quadrupled from the last year of President Trump. Was it a mistake to loosen the immigration policies as much as you did?
It's a long-standing problem. And solutions are at hand. And from day one, literally, we have been offering solutions.
What I was asking was it a mistake to kind of allow that flood to happen in the first place?
I think the policies that we have been proposing are about fixing a problem, not promoting a problem. Okay?
But the numbers did quadruple.
And the numbers today,
watch.
because of what we have done, we have cut the flow of illegal immigration by half.
But should you
we
have done
cut
that?
the
Should you
flow
have
of
done that?
fentanyl by half, but we need Congress.
You don't need Congress to be able to end catch and release. You don't need Congress to authorize this CBP app that's been flying in people from across the world. You don't need Congress to undo the 97 executive actions that were taken. So, again, here she is, She finally gets questioned a little bit, and you can tell she doesn't appreciate it because it's kind of, it has to be surreal for her looking at, one of the campaign surrogates effectively in CBS News actually asking a tough question. It might be one of the first tough questions actually asked of Kamala Harris, but it was asked in such a nice, docile tone. It's almost laughable. But it's just incredible. I watched the Elon Musk Tucker Carlson interview. I would highly recommend you guys check that out because he talks about something that's so true. And that Kamala Harris is not really, an entity in herself. Like, she's really just the face of the machine. She'll say whatever they want her to say. They being the uniparty, the totalitarian military-industrial complex, establishment globalist, I would say, type. She's the face. And this has been even more solidified and validated by the likes of Liz and Dick Cheney coming out and supporting Kamala Harris. All these essentially fake Republicans supporting her just confirms what we already thought about that. She is the military state. She is the uniparty personified. It's not even about Kamala Harris. It's about what she represents. And following the Trump rally in Butler, hope you guys checked that out. It was pretty epic with Elon Musk. Elon Musk tweets out, "Victory is not enough. It must be absolutely decisive victory." This was quoting a tweet showing the alleged collapse of Kamala Harris's odds in the Polymarket tracker, which was really interesting to see such a stark and abrupt change here in the odds. Trump had about a 54% chance to 46% of Harris. A very significant lead. Pennsylvania heavily leaning Trump now after some good numbers came out showing voter registration statistics really not great for Democrats. And both Michigan and Wisconsin are within striking distance here. And that's what's been represented. That's what's been shown in the recent polling data. Atlas Intel, very reputable poller. All three swing states, all three Midwestern Rust Belt states have Trump leading. Very strong numbers in North Carolina, 60-40. Georgia, even more so, 64%, basically a runaway at this point. and Nevada. I mean, he has many paths to the presidency. So 29 days out, you guys need to vote. We have a candidate who does not understand or know what she stands for. She's incapable of doing her job. She has contempt for the American voters. She refuses to do any interviews. When she finally does an interview, she goes on a sexual podcast in the midst of one of the greatest natural disaster tragedies in American history, arguably. So get out and vote, okay? Get out and vote. We're so close. Very consequential election. But with that being said, want to keep this one brief for you guys, keep it impactful. So if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you like the video, leave a comment down below with your thoughts, subscribe to the channel, check out our new docuseries releasing. We're going to be releasing more episodes. Just part 2 just came out last week. Very incredible. Check it out on YouTube at Grab Your Gear, TikTok and Instagram clips at Grab Your Gear. Thanks for watching so much, and we'll see you in the next one.